right?
Yeah. I know
And
something about it by working with international customers as a project manager. So
yeah.
for some reason, I always have an apple in mind, and the customer has a banana. So that doesn't
Exactly.
make things easier. Yeah.
So it seems to be that that's a good place to begin defining happiness, because we know that when we are on automatic pilot, we're more likely to make errors and we're more likely to suffer. So that's a basic beginning starting point. So I just said that to recap a little bit.
Mhm.
All right. So I think that segment went well. It felt natural.
Mhm.
Should we go with another myth?
Yeah, we can. What do you
Okay.
want to tackle?
So the first myth that we just talked about is that it's easy to define happiness, and there's a lot of people out there trying to sell us happiness. A lot of people telling us that you need to be happy, but um, really it's very difficult to figure out what it is. Um, and sometimes it's actually easier to define what it's not. So the second uh, topic that we want to discuss is the role of negative emotions in happiness, because a tendency is to think that happiness is only positive emotion. I'm only going to feel happy when I am elated, when I am orgasmic, when I am just happy as a clown. But in reality, what we call negative emotions can actually inform our happiness as well. So sadness is one of those things that we usually like to push away, or
Mhm.
anxiety is one of those
Right.
things that we like to push away. So an example that I like to use is public speaking,
Mhm. Okay.
because usually the vast majority of people who have a fear of public speaking, which by the way is the majority of people, most people are afraid of public speaking. um, the issue that we have when we are afraid is usually anxiety.
Yeah.
And the anxiety comes from our idea that we need to be perfect, and um, it also comes from judging ourselves. We're very harsh judging ourselves. And we experience that anxiety of judgment, of being judged, anxiety of not being perfect, and then we try to control it. And when you try to control anxiety, anxiety has this nasty habit of fighting back and making you feel out of control. That's when we kind of like spin out of control, and people just can give themselves
Yeah.
like full blown
You get
panic
stressed
attacks.
and you.
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
So now there's some people that really love public speaking, right? And there are people who learn to love public speaking.
Probably they did. Yeah.
So what they did is that they actually learn to um, reconfigure that anxiety, to reprogram the anxiety from negative anxiety into excitement. So let me
Yeah.
repeat that. So what they were able to do is that they were able to learn to reconfigure or to reprogram anxiety from negative anxiety into excitement, right? Because when you think about it, when we're excited and when we're anxious, we have very, very similar symptoms.
Yeah.
Our
That's
heart
true.
rate increases, for example, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, if our heart rate increases, but we interpret that as a threat, then we're going to be anxious and we're going to spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm.
When our heart rate increases and we interpret that as enthusiasm or excitement,
We're full of
then
energy.
yeah, we have that energy exactly.
Yeah.
So it seems that happiness is when we're able to take the stressors in life and we're able to use our emotions to to react in a more constructive way. So therefore, happiness can include what we used to call negative emotions. And in a way, it can help us transform those so-called negative emotions into even positive experiences. But the first thing that we need to know is that there is no controlling, and we need to accept the role of negative emotions in our lives.
So actually, negative emotions are a part of our lives. We sort of have to embrace this feeling and just
Yes.
take it with us. It's a part of our journey.
Yes, and I actually think that a key to solving that riddle is to stop saying negative emotions, which is hard for me even to say it, even though I kind of like know these concepts, because that's how our culture has a tendency to refer to sadness and anxiety or depression. But if we instead label them as emotions and try to remove the judgment and open our perception towards Jesus, I just got interrupted by a phone call.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I need to put my cell phone on airplane mode.
Yeah, I'll do the same so this doesn't ring.
All good experiences and feedback. Okay. I'm on the airplane now.
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe we should kind of name those emotions, emotions that I like and emotions that I like a bit less.
Yes, and I think that's honest. You may say, yes, I don't really like that, what I feel, how I feel my heart racing when I'm public speaking necessarily. But I don't think you need to like it. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's
I'm
the
listening
voice.
to a podcast. 1 second.
Oh yeah, no.
I think we have to re-record the whole section because
I think it had
seem to
started
be
two minutes
on a
ago.
podcast
So.
on my computer. All right. Negative emotions.
I think it had started 2 minutes ago, not that long ago,
Okay.
or I didn't notice at least.
So I'm going to repeat like the key thing here, just in case.
Yeah.
So it seems to be that we need to be a little bit more careful and try not to label emotions as negative or positive. And I think the key is more to bring acceptance to emotions. That way we can allow the emotion that we initially have a tendency to perceive as a threat when it comes to public speaking, and we can actually use, like what you said, Simone, that energy. We can allow those physical sensations, instead of blocking us and preventing us from succeeding, we can actually use them to help us become energized towards doing a good job when we public speak. And as a result, we can begin to enjoy the process of public speaking, even though it's not easy, even though it may be a little bit hard. But I think in the end, we really enjoy achieving things that are worthwhile, right? They don't have to be easy.
Yeah.
So I think positive psychology is like that. Positive psychology, I think we can consider this a third key point. Positive psychology can be simple once you understand some basic concepts, but the fact that it's simple doesn't mean that it's easy.
Yeah, easy, especially right? Probably to apply, to really put it into your, daily life. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would use an example of, let's say, for example, a good diet. Really, the basic principles of a good diet are known.
Yeah,
right
eat
now.
healthy stuff. Yeah,
Yes. Stay hydrated, include a
Yeah.
lot of vegetables,
yeah, variety. Yeah.
try to stay away from saturated fats, right?
Mhm.
So we can know that in a simple way. Now go try it, right? That's hard.
Yeah,
So one
correct.
of one of the things I tried last year was fasting, and it's very very simple. Fasting means stop eating, you know. So like if you do a 16-hour fast,
Yeah.
you stop, let's say for example at 6 p.m. The night before, and then you only eat until like 9 or 10 the day after, right?
Yeah, that's why it's called
It's
breakfast.
exactly simple, right? Not easy.
Yeah,
So I
not
think
easy.
positive psychology is like that. Positive psychology is simple once you know the basic principles, but it's not easy. And I think that the way I would like to sum up that third point is that happiness is work. Happiness is hard work. In the same way that fitness is work. So you have to exercise to stay
I
healthy.
think everything that is worth being achieved is work, right?
Exactly. Yes,
So
I agree with that. Okay, so how are we doing there?
again, I didn't get your last. What did you
Oh,
say?
how are we doing so far?
Oh, okay. No, I think it's fine. I think it would still. I wonder if a script would help in general a bit.
Yeah.
To know when to interrupt each other. Yeah, a bit maybe, or also to I don't know. Maybe develop certain things in a more structured way, maybe. What I do for my podcast, sometimes I have a. It's not like I am reading, but I have a.
Bullet points.
Yeah, bullet points, or sometimes even more than bullet points. I have a few sentences, or if there's a concept that I really would like to explain well, maybe I write it down, and then I know it's there, and then I'm just
Yeah.
recording. And sometimes I help myself, right?
Okay.
And I believe also, like, being the two of us together, maybe this helps as well. Also,
Yeah.
when we want to.
Yes.
But I think it went. It's fine because you have some nice examples. I love examples. And then I can always take the examples or whatever you say and try to rephrase it or to re-explain it and to ask back. And you're like, yes, Simon, exactly, that's it. So that people can get maybe two different point of view, or they can, the same
Okay.
concept, they listen to it again.
Yeah.
And I think some little jokes every now and then help
Yeah.
the listeners to, to keep listening, because we have
Right.
our ability of staying focused is getting less and less and less.
Yeah.
No, what do you think?
That makes sense. So what would be the next? Did I stop the recording now?
Yeah. I believe it would be to start just